structure. And this is actually a system inside a system, a little bit like when you see robots making a car. This makes the whole process much more complex because you need those proteins to be in place before you build the motor itself. A theory put forward by William Dempsey, who believes in intelligent design, stated that as humans we recognise design when we see something with improbability and specification. Something improbable could be how snowflakes are shaped. Each one is different and the arrangement is improbable because it won't happen again, or is very unlikely to do so. But this has no specification. It doesn't mean anything to us. We don't recognise it to be anything we know. However, something that is improbable and specified is a written message. I couldn't think of anything better, I'm sorry. The arrangement of letters here is very improbable. The combinations of letters are in the millions, if not higher. And we recognise these letters to mean something because we know them. The specific order holds a message to us, we understand. The argument continues to say that if the arrangement of the rotary motor is improbable, which its complexity makes it difficult to deny, but its specificity also helps us to see that it does something useful, and it's similar to machines we have made in the way it's structured. The argument continues to say that we wouldn't conclude that a car's motor had evolved. So only that being created, there has been variation within a kind, meaning that motors have become more and more specialised for each purpose. So why should the rotary motor be any different? Evolutionists state the clear similarities between proteins, which cannot be denied in most cases. However, they disagree about many other things because they simply were not there at the beginning to see the event and observe it. Having said this about evolution, it is also true of intelligent design. We weren't there at the beginning, and we didn't see things being created. Intelligent design argues that complexity causes problems for evolution, and this is true to some extent, but evolutionists again point to homology as their answer, and because there are similarities, the co-option theory would work if the parts could be borrowed. But intelligent design argues that the assembly is too complex, and in my research I have not found this topic tackled by evolutionists. The question of which the science truly supports is something that seems very strange to ask to some people, as many people would dismiss intelligent design as a false science, saying it relies on faith and leads people to belief in a creator. However, I would suggest that evolution requires just as much belief. But the evolutionist statement of, we may never know what happened, says it all. With concepts like genetic changes that we cannot measure, and know are meant to have happened billions of years ago, when we weren't there, we cannot prove what they say, and faith is required. Added to this, in some cases, evolution has led to the belief of no creator, as some believe there is no hand that guides this process. Is the belief in an absence of intelligence or creator any less needing of faith? Could it not be said that evolution requires faith here, therefore? Just because something leads you to the conclusion of a creator, or in fact no creator, doesn't make it more or less scientific. I always thought science was about evaluating evidence. Why are so many scientists dismissing half of the evidence before it's had consideration? Whilst there is science on both sides, as I've explained to you, people interpret this evidence differently and use it for their own points. So, could the rotary motor of the bacterial flagellum have evolved? I honestly don't think we'll ever have enough proof to convince anyone either way. And more important than this, people will believe what they want to, whether the so-called science supports it or not.
Questions on her project, and anything that's come to mind as you've listened to what she says.
Yes, this one.
Where is the flagellum found?
On bacteria.
What bacteria?
E. coli.
Any other bacteria?
There are others, but I didn't really look into any. E. coli was the main one I looked at.
Do you think it is satisfactory? As scientists, we don't have an answer for many things. And do you think, therefore, it is satisfactory to say, we don't understand this, so therefore God made it?
I think it depends, because often people go, oh, I can't explain anything, therefore I'll just put it on God. But if you believe in a God, then I think that you won't ever understand everything. We will never know everything. But if you do already believe in a God, then you can say, I know it's complicated, and one day I will hope to understand it, but I can trust in the God I believe in. But if you don't, then you always have to question, you always have to go, if I can't believe in a God, then I will have to keep searching and keep searching. But that doesn't mean, I don't think that means someone else wouldn't. I don't think that means I would never, stop being interested. I'd always want to know, the feedback system. We have no idea why that works. And I'd love to know. Just because I believe that it was created doesn't mean I don't want to know.
I think that's where a massive parallel between religion and science is questioning. And people often see them as fundamental opposites, but I think they can go side by side quite well. Perhaps you will be the biochemist to discover how the flagellum works.
That'd be fun.
Laura, I don't know, it's just an observation, have you read any of the initial reports from Switzerland, from the Hadron Collider, of the work that they're doing, having fired it up over the last few months? Because they are looking at sort of protons and within the collider to see just how far they can track evolution back with some of their results. I know it's going to be many, many years before they've analysed all the millions of readings that they're getting, but I think as part of linked in with your work that you've been doing, there's some interesting work coming out once they've got it fired up to full speed. But they are beginning to publish some articles and some initial reports from there, which I think again would find quite interesting.
I haven't looked at it, but I might.
Could I just ask, do we have any idea about the kind of time when these motors came into being? Do you have any?
Depends what side you go with. Evolutionists say the type 3 secretory system is either very, very old, like older than mitochondria, which is supposed to be one of the oldest things that they say. But others say it's much later. Some say it preceded the rotary motor, some say it didn't, some say it came together. But if you believe in intelligent design, it's probably not that old, about a few thousand years or so.